Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Thoughts at 3. My name is Ellie, and I am part of the schools team at Southampton City Mission. And we are coming to you live every school day at 3 o'clock with an online assembly. So hello if you are watching live on Facebook or YouTube. Make sure you're joining in the live chat if you are watching. But hello also to those that are going to be watching this at a later date. This is the third of our craft special Thoughts at 3's assemblies. So we've already in the past done some painting together, some resist art looking at Christian symbols, and we've also done some prayer bottles, shaking up the glitter, watching them settle. Well, welcome to our third craft special, which is all about stones. So if you are wanting to join in the craft today, you've got two options. One, maybe you've got your stones at the ready and you can join in live with me. Or maybe you want to just watch now and then join in later. We make sure that all of these videos stay on our Facebook and YouTube pages so you can always watch along at a later date. You can see where you can find us on Facebook and YouTube, and we are on Instagram. So make sure you are liking and following and subscribing and all those things so you don't miss out on any of our online assemblies or anything else that we will be sharing. So what are we going to do today? Well, I'm going to be showing you how you can make your very own SCM stones and showing you 3 different ways to decorate stones just like these ones here. If you have any questions as we're going along, be sure to put them in the comments. I will try and join in with that. And at the end of this, we will be explaining something quite special, why we're calling these SCM stones and something that you can do with your stones once you have finished decorating them. At the end of the assembly, I will then be saying a prayer like we always do, which is something optional for you to join in with just to finish the day and finish the week. We've made it to Friday. Well done, you. So, as I said, we're going to be looking at decorating stones today. And for those of you who watched Thoughts at 3 last week, I believe it was last Thursday, then you would have seen Matt lead us through an assembly all about the symbolism of stones and how for Christians, stones are quite an important symbol. They are solid and firm and they last forever, which for Christians we believe is the same as God. So today I'm going to be showing you some of the different ways we can decorate stones and be a reminder for what God is like for Christians. I can see we've got people joining in the chat already. I want to say hello to Lucy, which I think probably means Charlie and Maggie are watching as well. I'm glad to see they are ready to decorate their stones. So I think it's about time that we got started. I'm going to show you, as I said, 3 different ways that you could decorate your stones. So we'll go through those step by step. And maybe you can't do all of them, but hopefully you've got some of the materials to do one of these. We're going to do some painted stones, a bit like these ones, some stones decorated with marker pens, and then finally how you can use just pencil and paper and a bit of glue to decorate your stones if you would rather. So let's get going then with the first one, which is all using paint. Now you can see I've got a couple of examples here of where I've just used paint to decorate my stones. I've done a whale here splashing along. And this one I've actually done with houses. But have a look. I've painted a house built on the rock on one side and a house built on the sand on the other side. You see, all the pictures that I've put on my stones, I've used Bible stories to give me ideas. And maybe you know this story of the 2 builders, the wise man who built his house on the rocks and the foolish man who built his house on the stones. Well, to do painting of stones, all you need is some paint, which is quite thick, maybe something like acrylic paint, maybe poster paint, but probably not get your watercolours out for this, and a paintbrush, and of course a stone. So I've got my stone here. I've just got mine from my garden. I gave them a little wash, get rid of all the mud, and I'm going to have a go at doing another painting on this stone here. Maybe you can comment, what pictures are you interested in doing? The one I'm about to do, I think, because I've got a nice big round flat area, I'm going to do a sky for this one, maybe with some birds floating and flying in the sky as well. So I've got my paint at the ready. I like to use butter tubs and things to reuse my paint, and you don't need much. we've only got a little rock to paint, so you don't need too much paint for this, but you might find you need a bit of water as well. So I'm going to start with, of course, a nice sky blue background, and I am literally just going to cover all of one side. If it gets on your fingers, we can always wash it off after. I always think crafts are much more fun if they get a little bit messy. So for this one, I'm going to paint a nice sky. Do you know, actually, in the Bible, there are lots of Bible stories about the sky. You can read about in creation when God made the sky. He put the sun and the moon and the stars, the atmosphere, the sky above, the water below, and even the land. So I'm going to use a bit of yellow now to maybe do a bit of land at the bottom. And you can see, because I'm mixing yellow and blue, it's actually turning a bit green. But that's okay, the land could be yellow or it could be a bit green. There we go. Now, lots of this, what we're doing today, you might find it gets a little bit wet and you might want to let it dry before you do something else on top, but I'm not too worried about that. I think this one doesn't matter if it blends in a little bit. Now in my sky, there's going to be lots of fluffy clouds, so I've changed to a slightly smaller paintbrush. Then I'm going to try and do some fluffy clouds floating in my sky. You start to see those appear there? Now the reason I'm doing this picture today is because it reminds me of a story that Jesus told. A story about how we don't have to worry because God cares for us so much. Jesus told people to look at the flowers and look at the birds, and I'm going to draw my birds now, and to do that I'm just going to do a little black V to look like my bird floating off in the distance. Jesus said to people, you don't need to worry, look at the birds and the flowers. If they don't need to worry about what clothes to wear or where their next meal is going to come from, then surely God means that we'll look after you as well. If he cares for the birds and flowers this much, of course he cares for humans as well. So there we go. Just as quickly as that, I have drawn my birds floating through the cloudy sky on my rock. Got a little bit on my fingers, but we can always wash that off later. If you are joining in, I would love to know what pictures you choose to paint on yours. So that's one example of how we can paint a stone. I'm going to let that dry and then show you another way we can do it, which is where we just use marker pens. Something like Sharpies or any other marker pens, which are the felt tips, which won't really wash away. So let's have a go at stone example number 2, pens. So for this one, it kind of depends what colour your rock is. If you've got quite a light rock, you might find the pens show up fine, not a problem. But if you've got quite a dark rock, some of mine are almost black in colour, then you might find your pen doesn't show up very well. So one way around that is to actually paint the stone first, a nice pale colour, let it dry, and then you've got like a white canvas to do your drawing on. And you can see that is what I've done here. So I painted a white background and then used my felt tip pens or my marker pens to paint or draw my pictures. So I've done one there with a nice flower and a sunshine, or I've done this one here, which was nice and simple, just by drawing hearts. Do you know, hearts is a really common theme in the Bible because hearts symbolise love. And I believe the Bible to be a love story, a story about how God loves people so much and how we should try and show that love to others as well. I can see we've got people joining in with the comments. I can see Teresa is watching and she's having a go at doing bread and wine, or maybe bread and fish. 2 great examples from stories from the Bible there, which is fantastic. So let's see what I'm going to do in my next one. I've got my white stone, which I've painted ready. It's nice and dry now. I've actually painted the whole thing, but that means that I've got a nice blank canvas to do my drawing on. This time, I was feeling a bit cold today. I don't know what the weather's like where you are, but the sun seems to have disappeared today. So instead, I thought if the sun's not here in the sky, I better put it on my rock instead. So I've got my yellow marker pen here, and I am going to draw a nice, big, bright summer sun. And maybe it will encourage the sunshine to come out as well. So I'm using my yellow pen first of all, Doing my nice big yellow circle in the middle. You can kind of see that there. I might get another pen out, see if it works a bit better. Go over at the top. That's a bit like it. And then, of course, I want to see this sun bursting with sun rays. So I'm going to get my orange pen as well, I think, and add some sunshine to it. Some of those lovely orange waves, sunbeams shooting out like that. Now, actually, although marker pens are brilliant, I've actually also got one of these special gold pens, which I thought would be perfect for this. I think it's like a painty pen or just a gold metallic marker. But I thought a bit of gold on my sunshine might look even better. So see what kind of pens you've got, and you can add to your sunshine like that. The last thing I'm going to do on my painted one then is a bit of a smiley face, because I like the sun. I think it makes me happy, and I always like to think when the sun is shining, he must look nice and happy too. I love sunny days, and again, reminds me of that Bible story of when God created the world. I shared the other day in an assembly how the creation story is one of my favourites. It shows me how creative God is, which is, I think, a gift he gave to lots of us, and also reminds me of how all the things around us in nature come from God. So there's my next painted rock, my SCM stone with a lovely sunshine on. Okay, so we've done some painted ones, we've done some drawing ones. I hope if you are joining in, you're still working hard on yours. I know I'm rushing through these, but you keep going with your designs. You might have time to do more than one, which would be fantastic. But I'm going to show you the third and final example today, which might actually be one of my favourites, and that is where we use paper, any colours you have. I've used colouring pencils on this one, and then a bit of PVA glue to secure it on. Have a look at that. That paper's not going anywhere. It is stuck on, and the glue actually makes your rock nice and shiny. So I've done a rainbow there, which we've talked about before, is a brilliant symbol of joy and hope, and even seen at the end of the Noah's Ark story. And then maybe you might recognise this picture, which I think is the one Therese is going to have a go at doing. This is a basket full of 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. This is from the story of a miracle Jesus performed. How he took one boy's packed lunch of just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish and managed to feed over 5,000 people. The food just kept on going. They even had leftovers at the end. I love this story, so I had to go at drawing my picture there. And what I'm going to do now is show you how you can take a picture that you've drawn on paper and actually attach it to your rock. So I've got another blank stone here, and my picture that I started to draw was a cross. So you can see I've just coloured that in. I actually drew around my rock first, just so I knew how much space I had. And what I'm going to do now is cut it out. Now, you don't have to be really neat with this. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to go right up to the edges. You can even leave a bit of a white border like I did on those ones. But once you've got your picture cut out and you know that it's going to fit on your stone, yep, I think that will fit, then you need to get some glue. PVA glue works best for this. And I'm going to squeeze some out. And then we're going to have to try and cover the whole rock in this glue. So I've got another brush at the ready. If you are painting on your glue, make sure you wash this after, or your brush will get all stuck together and go rock solid. So we are going to try and cover the whole rock in glue. And this does get a little bit messy and a little bit sticky. You might find your fingers all sticking together, but try and cover the whole thing, both sides, because the other thing the glue does is it makes your rock waterproof, so your picture won't wash away. Covering the whole thing like that. And then, when you think you've covered it, oh, my fingers are going to get sticky now. That's it. Once you've covered the whole thing, you take your picture that you've cut out, you lay it and stick it on top of your rock, and then you get some more glue and paint over the top so that the whole thing is smoothed down and covered in glue. Try and make sure it's nice and flat, that there's no gaps at the edges, nice and smooth, and that every part is covered in glue. Now you might think it looks a bit messy right now and a bit white, but don't worry, because this glue will dry clear and see-through and nice and shiny. Just like that. So there is a third way, our paper and glue technique, that you can use to decorate your own stones. Draw any picture, use pencils or felt tips, cut it out, and then glue it onto a stone. That one is definitely going to need to take a little bit of time to dry and probably need to wash your fingers as well. Now, I hope you've enjoyed decorating your stones, and I hope if you're still going, you're working hard on those. But did you know that is not the end of the challenge? Oh no. You see, we have been decorating these stones for a reason. In fact, we have set up at Southampton City Mission a Facebook group called SCM Stones. And this is what we want you to do when you have decorated your stones. You are going to hide them somewhere else. I'm sorry if you're really proud of it. Maybe if you've made more than one, you can keep one for yourself. But any others you've made, we want you to hide somewhere in your neighbourhood, somewhere in and around your town or your city for someone else to find. And then what we want you to do is you can go onto Facebook, join our SEM Stones group and comment on that Facebook page, or get an adult to comment for you with where your stone is hidden. Now, I don't want you to do it too obviously. Maybe you want to find a picture and just give some clues as to where it might be. And then we want you to comment on the Facebook group and tell us where it could be. I've got a little example here already, which Matt has done this morning. You can see there's his stone decorated with the SEM logo. He's even said about share a picture and re-hide it. And I don't know if that picture gives us a clue as to where it might be. Looks like a big cruise ship somewhere in the background. So perhaps if you think you know where that stone could be hidden, on your next walk when you're out and about, you could have a go at looking for it so that you know where that stone is. And if you find it, get onto the group and let us know that you have found it. But here's the next challenge. If you do find a stone, maybe other people who haven't watched this video will find one. They go on the group and they say they found it, and then they get to re-hide it for somebody else to find. Now, there's one more thing I need to let you know about. If people are going to be able to find our SEM Stones Facebook group, we're going to need to tell them that that's what these stones are for. So whenever you finish decorating, painting or drawing or sticking on, before you hide your stone, we need you to write SEM Stones on the back. Let me show you. On my lovely little whale one here, with my paint, I have painted hashtag SEM Stones, okay? Or maybe if you've done your drawing, you can get another piece of paper and glue on the back SEM Stones. I've even put the little Facebook logo on that one so people know where to look. I can see that Matt is commenting right now to show us the group. It is live, it is open to anyone to join, and after this video we will share it as well. So if you're watching on Facebook, you can join our SEM group, SEM Stones, and then you can be starting to hide your stones, look for others, and start what we think will be a really fun activity for everyone to get involved with. So we are nearly coming to the end of our time together. I'm hoping lots of you have been getting involved still. You can see I've put SEM Stones actually on the back of all of my rocks that I've decorated, and I'm going to have to do it on the back of these ones now as well. But we're going to end together in a time of prayer. So like always, this is optional, you don't have to join in, but maybe you want to spend just a quiet moment, pause your decorating and say a prayer with me now. If you do agree with what I say, then make sure you say Amen at the end, because that means I agree. Let's pray. Dear God, thank you that we can trust and rely on you like a solid, permanent stone. I pray for everyone who takes part in the SEM Stones challenge, that they will have fun being creative with their decorating, and that these stones will bring joy to other people who find them hidden around their neighbourhoods. If you would like to agree, you can say Amen. So I think that's all we've got time for today, but let me just remind you that we want you to take part in this challenge of SCM stones, join the Facebook group, hide your stones somewhere around your neighbourhood. I know that these ones I am going to hide around Fareham because that's where I live. So if anyone's visiting Fareham or lives there, be on the lookout for these ones. And be on the lookout for Matt's stone hidden somewhere as well. If you do find any stones, take a photo, post on the group, re-hide for someone else, and I think we should have a lot of fun getting involved with this. I want to remind you that it is the weekend, so we won't be here tomorrow, but after that we will be back on Monday, where Matt will be leading us through our next Thoughts at 3 p.m, all about miracles. So that will be on Monday, the 18th of May. I hope you can join us for that. I hope you have fun decorating your stones if you want to take part in that challenge. And we will see you all on Monday. Goodbye.